Ever woken up and thought to yourself, bloody hell, what was I drinking last night? And where'd all these bruises come from? And what the feckin' hell am I doing in a bleeding jungle? Meet Flashback's protagonist, Conrad Hart. Conrad is having a day he'd just rather forget. The intro places you on Titan, one of Saturn's moons, minus your memory. You then have to make your way to New Washington to get back your memory, and to earn enough money to take part in a Running Man style game show to earn yourself a ticket back to Earth, where you then infiltrate the enemy base on Earth before finally heading to the alien homeworld to do something about them taking over your planet. Did you get all that? Good. Now, anyone who hasn't played this game before, but somehow it seems to look familiar, it's because this is the spiritual sequel to Another World, Delphine Software's previous title. In Flashback, however, you're given much greater freedom of movement. You can run, jump, roll, shoot, and the whole process is just so much more fluid. However, the one thing you'll realise about Flashback, the same as its predecessor, is the amount of slowdown that occurs, especially during cutscenes. The thing is though, if ever you've played the Mega Drive version, you'll know that there's practically no slowdown whatsoever. But surely the Mega Drive isn't classed as the Super Nintendo. I mean, this is like the king of the 16-bit era, the golden era of video gaming. No, there must be some mistake. The Mega Drive surely cannot be classed as the Super Nintendo. Can it? Yep, that's right, read and weep, Nintendo fanboys. When it comes down to sheer raw processing power, the Sega Mega Drive has Nintendo's machine licked. Now, in all fairness, the Super Nintendo does have extra graphical capabilities, which if used properly takes a whole lot of pressure off of the main processor. But if that's not the case, then this is what happens. Stutter, stutter, stutter. Stuttering aside, however, the game was really quite enjoyable, tense and atmospheric. Like its spiritual predecessor, Flashback requires good use of the controls and a careful strategy to overcome some obstacles and enemies, though sometimes, just to mix things up, you're occasionally thrown straight into an out-and-out standoff.
I'm sure
the rotoscoped animation used in Another World makes a return in Flashback. As you can see for yourselves, the animations blend in beautifully with the stunning hand-drawn backgrounds. Rather than saturate the game with action-packed music, Flashback settles for a more reserved approach. Sinister and atmospheric arrangements crop up during cutscenes and at certain locations to help keep the player immersed in the story and the environment. However, because of a previously mentioned lag issue, the music and video never actually sync up. If the music finishes before the video, it simply loops over again. The music you're listening to now is from the end game theme from the SNES version. A rather funky little track, I'm sure you'll agree. But if it's all the same to you, I think I'm just going to switch over to the far superior Mega Drive version. But don't worry, I'm not a Sega employee who's trying to reignite the 16-bit console wars. Honestly, Flashback is another classic title from Delphine Software, the makers of Another World. Only this time the gameplay mechanics are far more intuitive in this adventure that looks like a cross between Total Recall and Blade Runner. If you've got a Mega Drive and a Super Nintendo, you might as well just go for the Sega version. If you decide to opt for the Super Nintendo version, you're not really getting a bad game at all, but with the lagging issues and with the better music on the Mega Drive version, you're really better off getting the Sega game.
16-bit arcade graphics.
I hope you enjoyed the review. This is Goomba, signing off.